Hello, investors. It is Ted Zhang, Associate Portfolio Manager with Revere Asset Management. Today is Tuesday, October 29th, 4:53 p.m., coming to you from Fort Lauderdale with tonight's Revere Roundup Daily Market Insight video. State of the market, we're in an uptrend. We have four green up arrows. Market leaders are acting extremely well. We'll go over some earnings after the bell. Um, Short term above the 21 EMA. Actually, the S&P reclaimed the 8 EMA, and the Nasdaq is breaking out of its base. Dow, we still have the sub yellow arrow. Still watching that area of the market to reclaim its 8 and 21 EMAs. Medium term still above the 50, long term above the 200. With four green up arrows, we are in the grow mode. So what happened today? Indexes are coiled for earnings reports this week. Remember that 37% of the S&P report this week. This is really the make or break. If earnings come in strong, we'll likely break out of these massive ranges that we are in. And then the other big news is that Bitcoin breaks two key levels, and I'll go over those as well. And if you watch the weekend video, I detailed a really clean and simple trading plan for Bitcoin and the specific levels that we've been watching. So 21 over 21 list up 0.57%, eight names up, five sideways, eight down, big eight up 0.98%. That was the leader today, carrying the Nasdaq and the S&P to have an up day. And the weighted indexes outperforming their counterparts, the equal weighted indexes. RG8 up 0.14%, S&P up 0.16%, RSP down 0.31%, Qs up 0.96%, QQEW up 0.56%. The Dow down 0.26%, mid caps about flat, up 0.02%. Small caps with higher rates, actually, no, small caps down 0.44%, Global 60/40 down 0.04%, and GROTECTION down 0.27%. Sorry. And so we'll get right into the S&P 500 chart as always. Last week, we had a shakeout, held the 21 EMA, tight day, then pushed out and saw a failed breakout of the 8 EMA. So that really frustrated bulls and bears. Yesterday, we had a really tight day above the 8 EMA, and today we undercut and reclaimed the 8 EMA on volume as well. So hold on, give me one sec. Let me refresh this page. Sorry about that. All right, we're back into it. RSP is weaker than its weighted index, still below the 8 and 21 EMA, but this still looks healthy. The 50 days coming up, and let's just see if we get some support here. A lot of this is home builders, financials, and smaller stocks being hit as rates have been rising. The Qs breaking out of this VCP and actually close above the Livermore 500 level. So the next key one is 503.52, and this looks great. And with Google reporting well, we're currently up about 7 basis point after hours, but we have Apple, Amazon, Meta later on the week, and that will really probably help us choose a direction in this market. QQEW also really just tight action. We broke out to all-time highs, came back in and just forming this new pivot here and see some more VCP action. Go on a 60-minute and see that VCP volatility contraction. And we're looking to take out these horizontal levels right there. The Dow Jones, that's why we have the yellow sub arrow. We are still below the 8 and 21 EMA. It's starting to look like a mini bear flag forming right here. And the 8 EMA is about to break the 21 EMA. And today was on volume as well. So distribution day in the Dow. Mid caps held the 8 and 21, wedge popped above. It's actually looking really great, extremely tight action. Can get above 31.43, likely to see a test of 3,200. Russell looks great as well, similar look to mid caps. Just more VCP in the base. You can see that's one contraction, 2, 3, 4. So we'll see if we can head up to 2,300 now, inside day today. Really tight action, really nice action. Maybe we come up to 2,300, build a final contraction, and then we take that out. And if mid caps and Russell and small caps fully participate with the larger caps, we could really get a full breath, easy dollar environment. VIX is still elevated, but that's normal. Just heading into the election with a lot of uncertainty. But we are below 20, so that's a good look. Let's go to the dollar. Dollar continues to rise, but finding some resistance today, uh, along with bonds being bid up with yields falling. This has been a rip-roaring rally so far, 4 weeks up in a row. So it's normal that we can find some resistance at this 105 area. Gold, a new all-time high. I'll show the gold futures, GC futures. Just really, really strong action. And this is what happens when you get clean and simple breakouts out of massive, massive. This was a 10-year long base with a handle that was 4 years long. That's what you get out of big breakouts, out of huge bases. Silver, nice break of this flag right here. As you can see, new all-time high, not all-time high, new 52-week high. Um, it looks like it's up next. Just great action on the weekly as well out of this huge base. Now, Bitcoin, let's talk about this for a moment. This is one of the charts of interest for me, and I'll go over that right now. As I detail on that video, after we broke 66,500, we found some resistance at 69,500, 70,000 area. Retested that 66,500 level multiple times in two shakeouts. Broke out above 69,500 yesterday, and today's candle, we definitely broke over 70,000, and so far have sliced through 72,000, putting in a high of 73,625. Previous all-time high was 73,835.57, so about 30 basis points off a new all-time high. At this point, we could just blast through, but if you look at this chart, it does look short-term extended, so I could see a scenario definitely that we can retest the 70,000 level and it still be totally normal action. The character at which it does that will be key, and that is what we're here for. We're here to judge the character of the stock to help us determine if it's healthy, if it's normal, or it's abnormal. So you can look on the weekly, we could just blast out here or get some tight sideways weeks and then get some confirmation from the election and see what happens there. But really now, areas of support is 72,000 to watch out for, and 70,000. We really shouldn't break 70,000 or it becomes quite ominous. And then on the upside, 73, the previous all-time highs of 73,835.57. Let's just round that to 74,000. So those are the key levels now. And this is extremely strong today. And then yields, finally, 1 year was down today, 2 years slightly down, 10 years down 3 basis points, reversal. And with the notes, we had an upside reversal on the notes. Perhaps if the notes catch a bid, the 10-year notes, 10-year yields come down, we can see some better action in mid caps and small caps and really, really present us an easy dollar environment with full breadth expansion. Now onto the tail of the tape. Of course, we're still in the bull case of the 21 EMA and riding that. After hours, we had Google, AMD, and Reddit earnings reports. I'll go over Google first. Earnings came in at $2.12 versus $1.86. Revenues, $88.3 billion versus $86.3 billion. So beat in the top and bottom line. Reddit had a blowout earnings quarter, leading to an earnings gap out of an IPO base. This reminds me of ARM actually gapping into that 100 Livermore area. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. A move over 100 could be an easy place to use a good above the line, bad below stop with like a $98, $97 stop. We actually decided to take 1% position after hours. This is not reflecting the tail of the tape because we recently did that, but we'll definitely update on the video tomorrow. Reddit had earnings, first positive quarters of earnings, 16 cents versus negative 6 cents. So that is huge. And revenues came in at 348 million versus 315 million. So that is a beat on the top and bottom lines. AMD, though, more disappointing, trading a bit lower after hours. Earnings came in line at 92 cents versus 92 cents. Revenues came in slightly higher than expected at 6.819 billion versus 6.71 billion. We had consolidation 14 and consolidation 15. Our keys today, we're watching this range 57.65 through 58.72, which we're still in. And the Qs range, we did break above, closing above 500. And then long-term rates, we're watching that as well. Strong sectors today, tech, communications, Bitcoin, gold, and silver. And then weak sectors, dollar, bond yields, utilities, energy, staples, home builders, and uranium. Our beta is 1.7 from 1.64. We trimmed TZA since small caps are acting well now, and we'll look to close that off if the strength is confirmed. And the bottom line is indexes are coiled for earnings reports. Bitcoin breaks two key levels. So now let's go to some charts of interest. The first one is Google, like I talked about, earnings beat. It's currently up 5.6% after hours at 179. This looks really great now. We've talked about this before with literally just a power of 5 or 6 with the 8, 21, 50. I bet if I plotted 100, 150 day, they're all coiled right here with as well as the 200 day. We've broken out of this range, gapping up to this 180 level now. And now it's really key to see this 190 area, which is the base highs. Volume is coming in. They beat top and bottom line. Google's definitely a major player in AI, cloud computing, search. And so we'll see what happens there. They're still facing the antitrust lawsuit to break up the company to subsidiaries, but this is great, great action nevertheless. It definitely will boost the NASDAQ. AMD, more disappointing, down 7.5% at 153 now. This 150 area is definitely key because then it makes a lower low, and that would likely lead to another downtrend in the stock. So we'll definitely want to see 150 hold. Bitcoin, we talked about it. This 42 level coincides more or less with 74,000 in Bitcoin spot price action. And that's definitely a potential add-on buy. I would love to see some sideways action above 40 and then take that out. Meta, another earnings coming up tomorrow after the close. Really nice wedge pop today, reclaiming the 8 and 21 EMAs. Just beautiful trend out of this huge base. And just another dominant player in AI with their suite of products with Llama. They're also introducing a search engine soon, which I'm sure they're going to talk about on the earnings report. Of course, they're free cash flow giant with Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook, and yeah, they're massive. And we'll see how their earnings comes in. With being this big of a market cap company and still seeing mid to high double digit, even sometimes triple digit earnings growth and revenue growth is extraordinary. So we'll see what happens there. NVIDIA, of course, the number one TML in the markets, one of the most consequential stocks in this recent bull market, is building a handle near or at all-time highs. So we'll see if we can push out of that tomorrow. It's currently going to hit a bit off AMD earnings, but nothing too concerning. Apple, another AI and hardware giant. They also have earnings this week, Thursday after close. Apple Intelligence was officially released with iOS 18 on Apple iPhone 15 and after, as well as the newer iPads and Macs. And this is some perfect VCP action in the space. 4 contractions now, and earnings will likely help choose a direction for the stock. And MSTR, slightly up today. It definitely discounted this Bitcoin breakout and front ran it. So some consolidation, maybe allow the 10 EMA to catch up, would be really healthy in this name. And from previous runs, it loves to trend above the 10 EMA, or in this case, we have the 8 EMA up, and even the 8 EMA is a good gauge as well. So we'll really key on that for this name. It's definitely the high octane name in the Bitcoin space. This also has its own earnings tomorrow after the close, but likely it means less just because the stock is essentially just a Bitcoin stock. But we'll see. Anything can happen. We always have to be prepared for it. Continue on. Let's just go over the 21 over 21 lists. The list now. First one, FFIV gapped up on good earnings as well. Give me just 1 second as I bring this up. They had huge volume on and 103% forward year 2026 earnings. So something's going on here, and provides optimization technology for delivery of network-based applications above this huge base. If you go on a weekly, new 52-week highs as well. IBIT, Of course, I talked about breaking above the 70,000, 72,000 key areas for Bitcoin, and this is acting extremely well today on huge volume. Coherent, another one, holding the 21 EMA, really a nice flag-ish formation now. It looks like this wants to break back above 100 and continue its trend. Earnings in 8 days as well. Make sure to track your earnings dates. You don't want to wake up to any earnings bombs in your names. A-Lab, we own this one. It officially hit ants. So that's extremely powerful after this gap up. It's formed a flag, and now it's continued so far. And the key level is around this area as well as 80. And this also has earnings in the next 6 days. If you look at the volume accumulation patterns, an uptrend here, just a sea of green volume. When it pulled back, lower than average volume, when it gapped up, huge volume once again, pulled back, low volume. When it then found support, higher volume, consolidation, lower volume. And then when it broke out, higher volume once again. So really, really perfect price and volume action. You have triple digits on earnings and sales, which is awesome. And 38 pre-tax margins as well. 2024 40-year estimates of 674%, 2025 estimates 46%. MicroStrategies, we talked about this already, up about 1% today. It's trending nicely, a bit exhausted, earnings tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes. On the downside, we have SE breaking the A21, so that's not a great first sign. It's on volume as well, so it really needs to reclaim that 21 EMA, or this trend or this stock might be heading for the 50-day moving average. SMR inside day down about 1.8%. Nothing too much to talk about here. Great action. Tesla rejected this 271 level, as I suspected, since we had this huge move off the lows. So it's a little bit right side compressed. Now it's starting to put in some VCP action. You can see there's one contraction, two, maybe let's say three here. Then we take out 271 from there. CEG down less than 1%, finding support at the 21 EMA. That's great action as well. Its counterpart VST is doing something similar. Really nice high tight flag right here. 100% move up, less than 20% decline, and now just really nice and tight flag that is forming. CCJ, another one, broke out, came back into the base, now forming this pivot right here. That could be an add-on over 55.47. Huge volume on up moves. You can see it littered with skyscrapers of blue volume. Its consolidation has been lower relative to up volume, and so that is perfect action. So I covered the top 5 movers in our 21 over 21 list, top 5 losers, covered some earnings reports, Andy, Google. Of course, we have MSTR and Meta tomorrow after the close. We have Apple, I believe Amazon Thursday after the close. So it continues to be a big earnings week. And that will wrap it for today's video. As always, we'd like to hear from you. Let me bring up this chart right here. My email is ted@revereasset.com down here. My Twitter is TedHZhang. You can always call us at 855-REAL-WEALTH. That is 855-732-5932. Our website is Revere Asset Management, where you can subscribe to our newsletter and get our videos to your inbox every single day. Our YouTube channel is Revere Asset. So you can check us out there, where we post all our videos, podcasts, and weekend videos. Finally, if you're interested in becoming a client, please reach out to any of us. Myself, ted@revereasset.com, Dan or Don at revereasset.com. And with that said, I'll wrap it up for today. It is Tuesday, October 29th, 5:12 p.m. now. This is Ted Zhang with Revere Asset Management, telling it like it is. Thank you for listening, and have a great rest of your week.